Hello everyone, my name is Becca and welcome back to another video on my vlog channel. I hope the microphone sounds fine. I'm trying a whole new layout to make videos and it seems to be working fine. I'll have to listen back to it to see if the audio is fine or not. I have to lower the audio because my tiny microphone spikes a lot. Since I'm not using a proper microphone, I'm using a small little itty bitty one. But in today's video, I would like to address something that I mentioned on my gaming channel that I was going to discuss on this channel, and I'm only just now getting around to it. But first I would like to preface, this is probably the style I'll be doing my videos in. My webcam is just having some issues, and quite frankly, this is just a channel where I want to talk about stuff in my personal life, and I don't really need a face for that. And it kind of let me draw a little bit with my little PNG character here, which is just me anime-ized. Yeah, that makes sense. But I just wanted to have like a very, I guess, like podcast kind of style way of doing this, because I talk a lot and I figured it was the most comfortable way of doing it, which I think I'll just stick with, because most of the time when I feel like recording a video, it's kind of impromptu and I really don't feel like getting done up for the camera, which this makes it so much easier, and I just have to pop my mic in and go to town. But anyways, a lot of things have happened to me in the past year, and I just would like to unload those in a video. Not all at once, but kind of separately, as each thing is kind of its own thing, and I like to have them spread out instead of overloading people with a bunch of information that, you know, I don't know if people care or not, but I don't like overloading people. So this video is going to be about how I got scammed out of an apartment. Basically, this happened, I think, 2 weeks ago, just about 2 weeks ago. In total, it's been about a month ordeal, realistically. So I'll start from the beginning to let you guys know what happened. So back at the end of May, my long-distance boyfriend and I, we were planning on living together, but realized both of us are not in a good financial place to be finding a place together and dealing with that struggle. So we both decided to look for our own places to live. I still decided to move down to New Hampshire to be closer to him, which would be ideal, just so I'm closer to him and that I don't have to keep traveling by train. Every once in a while we'd see each other more often, because right now we're not seeing each other that often. And it was a perfect plan. So I was looking for apartments on every website available. You know how it is. You go on the apartment websites, you go on Craigslist, you do all that. Well, I found a really inexpensive, well, I say inexpensive, it was within my budget apartment on Craigslist. So I replied to the post and was like, hey, I'm interested. And the person got back to me pretty fast and was like, all right, cool. The current tenant's gonna move out at this point and we'll settle things. And I said, cool. Then I got an email saying that the tenant's wife died, which is very unfortunate and tragic, and that I would have to secure the apartment first before being able to, you know, move in and see it. Which, not too unusual. I didn't really see any red flags at that point, and so I said, sure, yeah, okay. And that's when I should have just stopped. The lease that they sent me looked very legitimate. I assumed it to be real, not knowing the area at all either. I filled it out, I sent a deposit, I sent first month's of rent, and waited, and then they kept asking me for more money for legitimate things. Like, they were now asking for a couple months of advance rent, and I was like, okay, cool. Renter's insurance, which also made sense because I'm currently paying renter's insurance on my apartment I live in right now. And so in total, it was quite a few $1,000s of money. And I sent to them and they said, okay, this upcoming Sunday, the landlord's going to be in town, so we can give you the key then. And I was like, oh, cool. So I planned a trip down 2 Sundays ago? Last Sunday? No, 2 Sundays ago. Was it? It was pretty recently on a Sunday. I planned a trip down. And so I had emailed the person and said, hey, just let me know what time to swing around to get my keys. I'll be in the area. No response. No response whatsoever. Dead silence. I was like, okay, that's weird. Like, they must be busy. So I'm hanging around in New Hampshire, just waiting. I hang around for a couple hours. And I knew the address, so I ended up going to said address. And I got the numbers confused of the street. And I met this really nice man who was like, oh, I hope it's not this building because, you know, I'm the landlord of this building and I live in that unit. And I was like, no, I don't think so. And he had gone to go walk his dog, so he left and I kind of chatted with a few more people in the neighborhood. By the way, I'm just alone in New Hampshire in a area I'm not familiar with. My boyfriend is working. Well, he's asleep because he works night shift, so he's asleep. He doesn't even know I'm in New Hampshire. He doesn't even know I'm doing all this because I wanted to be, you know, Miss Independent and strong and all that and do things on my own. So I hang around. I re-look at the lease that this person had sent me and realized, oh wait, it is the apartment that this guy just said he lives in. And I felt my stomach drop. I felt my heart rate increase, my stomach dropped. I, at this point, am in between jobs. You know, I don't have a lot of money. I've had to borrow from my dad to help me get this place because he does not like the apartment I live in right now, and nor do I, and he's been super helpful in helping me find a new place to live. And I'm just in shock that I basically realized I've just gotten scammed out of a copious amount of money, and I'm having to start over, and also that a crime has been committed. So as I'm hanging around, the nice man that I was talking to, the actual landlord, came back with his dog, and I was like, yo, dude, I think I just got scammed. And I showed him the lease and everything, and he said, oh, that looks like a legit lease too. I was like, yeah, man. And he's like, you should go report this to the police. Because he asked me how much money basically I lost, and I am not going to admit the number on here, but it was a lot of money. And so he was nice enough to drive me to the police station, which was near the train station, so I didn't have to worry about, you know, having to walk too far to get back home or to take the train back home. And I went into the police station, which I've never been into a police station before. And let me tell you, it was very uncomfy. Very uncomfy. So I'm walking in, didn't realize how tinted the glass was to talk to somebody, which I probably looked fucking crazy. And a lady came up and she was like, hey, how can I help you? And I was like, hey, I just got scammed out of so-and-so amount of money because I was promised an apartment, yada yada yada. And I'm like starting to cry at this point. Like, it has hit me. And she asked me like how much money was involved and everything. I told her and I just started crying. And she gave me like the sad, like, oh no, like, look. And I explain as much as I can to her. I give her my phone number, my name, everything. She told me that she would call an officer down to come speak to me. So I sit in the chairs that are right next to the little window. I'm on the verge of a full breakdown at this point. I'm crying. I'm anxious. I feel so alone in that moment. And just full of shame and anger and everything. And a police officer comes down and he's like, hey, like, you want to talk to me about fraud? And I was like, yep. So he takes me into like a little conference room and we sit down and talk. And I show him all the emails. I show him the lease agreement. I show him basically every bit of evidence I have. And I explain to him, like, the fact that I'm trying to move to New Hampshire and how like this whole thing basically happened. And he takes down all my information, he takes down everything, and he said that he's going to give it to a detective to start open investigation because with the amount of money, it is considered a felony. So they were going to start working on it. And I was like, cool, okay. And he told me to go talk to my bank as soon as I could to get a new card and see if I could get the money back. And I said, okay. So I'm on my, like, waiting for the train home. I'm texting some of my friends just being like, yo, like, I was talking out my butt. I just had this happen to me. And of course, you know, pretty expected response of, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And I was like, yep, you know, like, I'm just dying inside now. And I keep this a secret from my boyfriend for at least a week because I am full of shame and everything. I text my dad immediately though because, like, he's involved in it because it was, like, a lot of his money. So I'm texting my dad. I'm, like, on the verge of a full breakdown. I get home after taking the train back home. I get home. I am just in my room, like, in my apartment, like, full-blown, like, sobbing. My best friend FaceTimes me to check up on me, and I'm, like, losing my mind. I'm kind of keeping it together while talking to her, though, because I hate seeing people, I hate having people see me in a vulnerable, weak state. I hate it. Especially the fact, like, I feel like at 26 I should have my shit together, and I don't. Which a lot of people would find pretty reasonable that I don't have my shit together, but as someone who kind of has been forced to grow up very quickly from a young age, I feel like I should have everything together at this point, which I don't. So that happens. The next day, I go to the bank, and I'm like, hey, this thing happened, and it's really upsetting, but I just need something. I need a new card, and I need all this stuff. So I spend about half an hour at the bank talking to one of, like, the managers, I guess, of that branch. I don't really know her position. I can't remember her position. But we were talking, and I sent her all my emails I had of the transactions. I got a new card and everything, and she basically told me that these scammers were really good at covering their tracks because the way the money was sent, it was voluntarily sent, basically, even though there's proof of promises of, like, goods and services. It was not that way. It was through personal payments. Therefore, me being able to get even some of the money back, it just doesn't even seem possible. So they're currently doing an investigation right now as well, and I'm back to square one. I do have a new job now. I'm a manager at Target. However, I have to do about a month's worth of training at a store in New Hampshire. And mind you, I don't have a car. I rely solely on public transportation, including the train, including Ubers. And that's just a lot of money. But this job pays well, and I just need a car. If anything, I'll live out of my car. But it's kind of hitting me now how screwed I am in a lot of aspects. Like, I need to find a new apartment. I want to move very badly. I don't want to live here anymore, and I've spent 3 years rotting in this apartment. But in the past, I'd say 6 months or so, everything's just been absolutely destroying me. And I'm very tired. But that's my current situation. I'm hoping that I can, I guess, tolerate this job with the traveling and stuff. It's gonna be a month worth of training too, which I don't know why it's necessary, but I don't know. I've never had an official managerial position before. I've been like a mini manager at places, but never been trained as a manager, which I don't know how I got this job, but I guess the only thing to do is to just do it. I'm also like, just really upset. And I haven't seen my boyfriend in, I think it's going on 2 weeks now, and the last time I saw him, we went to Boston, and I didn't even, like, spend much one-on-one time with him. But he's also been, like, super overworked lately, so I haven't seen him much, but... And it's gonna be hard with this position to be able to see him, and I'm just really hoping I can. Because, really, I'm fighting everything for him and for a better life, and... It's not in the sense of I'm putting all my eggs in one basket with a man. That's not the case. I don't need to hear it from anyone that that's the case. But just knowing that I could move to someplace new, as well as having someone who is very supportive and loving by my side, it makes the hardship worth it, but sometimes it really breaks me down. But, well... that whole topic can be for another video. But yeah, that's been my life experience for the past like 3 weeks or so, being scammed out of an apartment for a decent price because I'm dumb. And I feel less shame and guilt right now about it, but there are still remnants of it. And especially knowing that maybe if I do get that money back, I can probably put like a down payment on a car, at least, which would make my life so much easier. But sadly, it's not looking like that. So that's all I have today. Thank you for listening, watching or listening. Not much watching, I would say, but listening to me. As I make more videos, I'll keep tweaking, obviously, the audio and settings and stuff to see what works best. But I appreciate you guys for listening. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and stay tuned for some more life experience videos, I guess. I do enjoy being able to just talk about my life. Not in a narcissistic way, but in a way to just kind of talk about it, I guess. But if you guys like this and want to hear more about me, I guess stick around and we'll see what things I feel comfortable talking about. But I hope you guys have a good day. Thank you, and I'll see you later. Bye!